And you all thought Freddy vs. Jason was disappointing. My thoughts exactly.
Sorry, I had to do that.
Your hair actually looks better like that.
Oh, you think so? Are you saying that because it comes out my face?
No, not like that. I mean, when you push it back. When you push it back and you get that. I'd rather talk about your hair than this fucking... This thing sucks.
Oh.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the 31 Days of THORGIWEEN, and this is our last video in Icon Week. Yes, all week long we've been talking about films that feature some of the most iconic monsters in movie history, and we started by talking about Freddy vs. Jason. It's only fitting that we now go over to Japan, where apparently they have the same dumbass idea that we had. Because today we were talking about Sadako versus Kayako, or as it's better known, Ringu versus Juon, or Ring versus Grudge, which I will be referring to it as for the remainder of this video because goddamn all those other words contain more syllables. It's not that they're hard to say, it's just brevity. Because if there's one thing I'm known for on the Post Geek Out Reaction, it's brevity. But yes, this is the Post Geek Out Reaction, where it's not a review, it's just our open, honest discussion about the thing that we just watched. And for anybody out there who cannot find this, because I had to search like freaking crazy to find this thing, I finally was able to find someone who sold it. It was like $30, but I was like, you know what? I can't believe they actually did this. I am so amazed that this thing even exists. You know what? I'll do it. I gotta do it so I can see this thing. And as soon as I bought it, I then went into work the next day, and I have a coworker who is a big horror movie nut, and we talk about horror movies all the time. I told him, yeah man, I just bought Ring vs. Grudge, I can't wait to watch it. And then he goes, oh, are you gonna watch it on Shudder? I'm like, what's Shudder? And he goes, oh, it's this horror movie streaming service. They bought the American rights to it, so that way they're the only people who have it. That's why you can't find it anywhere on Blu-ray. Like, they're the only place you can find it on their streaming service. But you can do like a free 2-week trial on there where you don't have to pay them anything for it. You can just go on there, watch that, and you're done. I was like,
Son of a bitch.
well, that seems far simpler than what I just went through. All right.
This video is sponsored by Shudder.
Yeah. So for anybody out there who has not seen this thing, it's like, oh, I gotta check this thing out. Get a like week-long free subscription to Shudder and then cancel before it's over with. That's how you know this is not paid service. I'm telling you. Because I went on Shudder, I was like, oh shoot, this sounds like right up my alley. They ain't got jack on there worth watching.
It's just the Ring versus the Grudge, and that's really all.
No, they got a lot on there, and
but
it all looks like garbage.
Yeah, that's basically what I mean, like the most interesting one there.
Mm. So, yeah, like, I wanted to watch this because I've been hearing about this for a year now. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe this thing actually exists. I gotta watch this. Holy crap, this was disappointing.
Like, it was really good up until, like, the very end.
I wouldn't even go really good, but it was pretty decent.
It was decent, yeah.
It was
like,
pretty decent.
Then again, I'm, like, so used to American horror movie standards that...
Well, yeah, because American horror and Japanese horror are very different.
Yeah.
But this one, like, where's the kaboom? There's supposed to be, like, this could not be more the polar opposite of Freddy vs. Jason. Because if you've missed our discussion about Freddy vs. Jason, I said, like, listen, I defend that film, I stand up for a lot, but I understand people's complaints with it. However, the one thing that everybody tends to agree on is that, okay, yeah, we got problems all throughout this film, but when it actually gets to the fight, holy crap, that's actually pretty good. That's actually the thing we all came here for, and it was pretty damn good. We actually enjoyed that. This one is like, okay, interesting, alright, I'm following this, let's see where this goes. And then it finally gets to the point where these two, the girl from the Ring versus the girl from the Grudge, are gonna have to go at each other. It is the most anticlimactic, what the fuck just happened? Like, did you even understand this was supposed to be two monsters fighting each other kind of a film? Mm-hmm. Like, it was such a letdown, but we'll get into that. Basically, what this is, another way that this is really different from Freddy vs. Jason is that Freddy vs. Jason, it starts with Freddy, like, summoning up Jason, and then it's just Jason goes to Elm Street, and then it basically just turns into a Friday the 13th film with Jason occasionally popping up in there. This one, it's two totally separate movies happening that, like, half an hour before it ends, that's when they intersect. Whereas, you know, Freddy vs. Jason, it's merged immediately.
Yeah.
So in a way, like, I kind of feel like this one did a better job of like capturing like evenness between the two. Like they gave them equal screen time.
Yeah, but they
But
didn't
with
really.
Freddy vs. Jason, like at least it felt like one movie. This feels like I'm just watching two films.
Yeah, like it's cutting back and forth between like the two girls who watched the video and the one girl who moved down the street from the haunted house.
From the Grudge house.
Yeah, the Grudge house.
Which,
and the
there's
Ring
someone
video.
who hates that I'm calling it the Grudge and not Ju-on, but I'm sorry. It's easier for me. I'm sorry. But yeah, it really is like I feel like okay, do I need to sum up the plot for this? It's like the plot is it's the Ring and the Grudge happening simultaneously. That's it. Like there's these two college girls, which they have a college professor who is teaching the course on superstition and myths, and he's talking about how he would like pay like a huge amount of money for the actual cursed tape. Like he's looking all over this cursed tape. These girls go into an old like junk shop and they find an old VCR in there. It's got a tape inside. They decide to watch it. And one of the girls, the moment they start watching it, she gets a text and she looks down and she's typing throughout the entire video while the other girl's and then sure enough it's the cursed tape.
And I feel like this is such a dick move because the girl who wanted to watch the video was the one who looked down at the text, and the girl who was too scared to watch the video was just could not take her eyes away off of it. And
it's kind of like when I force you to watch like these crappy films or these videos because you're watching it the entire time and I'm always like
And you
hold on, I gotta check Twitter for a second. Hold on, I just gotta respond to this dude on Twitter. I'll be right back. All right. How are the comments on my latest video? Let's check this real quick here. All right, cool. Which I think that's why you're thinking it's such a dick move. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's just the Ring. But one thing that I actually enjoyed about it is that they didn't take this to their teacher, and he's like, okay, this might actually be the cursed tape. You two leave. I'm going to watch this and see. And then they come back in and he's laying there on the floor. It looks like he's passed out. And then he just stands up, walks over, looks at the tape and goes, oh my god, it's it! Oh, this is actually the real thing! Like, he is a big, like, horror junkie. Like, he actually wants to meet Sadako.
Yeah, he's like those guys who are always hunting for Bigfoot. He's like a really diehard fan of, like, the supernatural. It seems.
Yeah, except
like,
I feel kind of like the American, like, hunting for Bigfoot rednecks out there. They got a little bit more together because you can meet Bigfoot and survive. I've always said that's the thing that I both love and hate about Japanese horror is that in Japanese horror, you ain't making it out. No one gets out okay from Japanese horror. Like, no one survives that. And in one way, that always makes it a lot scarier to me, but on the other hand, it also, like, removes some of the tension because it's like, no one's making it out. You're not going to survive this.
And that's sort of kind of what happened in this
Kind of,
movie.
yeah. And I think that's actually, I'm bringing this up partly because, like, it kind of leads into the big problem with the confrontation there at the end. But then, like you said, on the other hand, you also have the Grudge girls. She moved in right next door to the Grudge house. And yeah, it's like her. It's like, oh, that house is creepy. Oh, this girl at school who plays tarot cards, she's telling me the long history of it. Which I can't help it. Anytime that I see Japanese people like laying out a big circle of tarot cards, I'm like, so is this when she gets her persona powers?
Speaking of which, like, there are like two characters in there that come up like at the end who are very
you're
much.
talking about them.
Yeah, who are
thought you were
very
talking-
much like the persona characters.
I thought you were talking about the two Ring girls, because I kept looking at them as like, that's Yukiko and Chie. That is 100% Yukiko and Chie.
They could be, but yeah, I'm talking about
no.
like, you know.
Yeah, we'll get into them in a second. But yeah, so it's like, there's not really much to talk about either of their stories, especially the Grudge girl. The Grudge girl is just, oh, something's up with that house. The only thing that really happens in the Grudge girl storyline is there's a moment where she sees 3 bullies force this one kid to go into the Grudge house. And that's actually, to me, probably the best sequence in this entire film.
Yeah.
It's when he goes in there and he immediately realizes there's monsters in there. So he steps out of the house, throws a rock at the boys. The 3 boys come into the house, and then he's just sitting there in the closet watching as these ghosts tear these boys apart. It's like, that's actually pretty damn cool. Granted, he does not make it out there either.
No, it's like these bullies tricked me into going into this haunted house. I'm going to lure them in here, so they're going to go down with me.
Yeah, I don't think that last part was part of his plan.
No, but
yeah,
he still wanted revenge, so that's why he threw a rock at him.
No, I mean, like, go down with me part wasn't, he was like, I'll trick them, the ghost will kill him, then I'll escape. It's like, no, again, Japanese horror, there's no escape.
Yeah.
But yeah, so really there's nothing happening in the Grudge storyline other than just, it's the Grudge. And then the Ring one, for the majority of it, it's just, it's the Ring. But then there comes a point in which the teacher goes, okay, there's this exorcist who, I watched her perform an exorcism once. I watched her cast out an evil spirit. If anyone can help us, it's her. So they then go to
like this ancient temple?
Yeah, it's basically like a temple. And she examines them and goes, there is something dark and evil in there. I'm going to do everything in my power. Clear my schedule for 2 days. I'm going to do everything in my power to help save you. And she tries to perform an exorcism on the first girl who watched the tape. At this point, the second girl has not actually seen the tape yet.
And the teacher is like, oh, don't do it on me. I'm totally fine dying.
The teacher only once is like, listen, I just want to see her. I don't care. I was like, you are aware that during the course of this exorcism, you'll probably see her anyways, right?
It's like when he saw the vet, he was like really pissed off they didn't see the girl, so he's like, I'll wait around the 2 whole days before I die so I could see her, like.
So they're performing this exorcism, and then like her two assistants, why did I say trainers? Her 2 assistants, then just suddenly snap their own necks and fall over dead. And then she herself starts like choking herself. And the teacher gets up and is like, no, you must stop this. Please, you have to show me Sadako. You have to show me Sadako. And then the weirdest freaking moment in this entire movie, she starts then choking him. And she's like, no, not yet. I have to see her. And then she reels back and headbutts him. And then his head expands to twice the size.
Yeah, and
gets this big weird grimace on his face. And he falls over. And it's literally like maybe half a second that you see it like that. We had to rewind and go frame by frame to watch it and go like, did we just see what we thought we saw? I don't understand why they did that. That was just like bizarre to me.
Maybe like there was like an extended cut with more of the face,
More of it, or also it's like, I know that sometimes in The Ring, when someone is killed by them, their face gets really weird and contorted, but I didn't think it was from being headbutted, and even then, like, it's not like it's contorted, it's like expanded to twice the freaking size. Like,
it's like stretched out like a football.
You know what it looks like? For anybody out there who has seen Big Trouble in Little Chinatown, that dude who blows himself up at the end of that movie, you probably, even if you haven't seen the movie, you've probably seen GIFs of it. That dude's face on a normal sized body. That's what it is there at the end. I'm like,
and it just feels so out of place. It seems like really cartoonish.
Yeah, it's really freaking weird. There's like, how the hell does a headbutt do that? And like I said, it's up there for half a second. So it's like, why on earth would you go to the trouble of creating a visual effect like this for half a second? Was there more of this? And you were just like, no, that's stupid. Just kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't get it at all. It was so odd. But the teacher had told them the only way to get rid of the curse of the ring, and this was something that had been established in the previous films, is you have to give it to someone else. You have to show it to someone else. So then the girl who, her name is Yuri, the girl who has not watched it yet, she then goes over to her friend and hands her the tape and goes, now give me that tape. And then like her friend is just kind of holding it there, and then she just goes, you have now given me this tape. I was like, oh, she's doing that to like sacrifice herself so that her friend can live and break the curse. And then she goes and she watches the tape, but her friend is still cursed. Like, there's no like explanation of why that didn't work. Like, it seems like that should have worked.
Well, maybe she didn't like technically give it to her. She just held it in her hand, and she.
Sorry, I had a beard hair in my mouth. Yeah, that was one of the things that like I was saying. Okay, that probably doesn't work because they asked the teacher. Okay, well, she showed it to you, right? And he goes, no, she didn't show it to me. She handed it to me, and then I watched it myself. And I was like, okay, so that's why it didn't work. And then it just kind of like hit me later on. I was like, that's exactly what Yuri did. Like, Yuri just goes up to her and like has her reproduce what the teacher said didn't work. So it doesn't really work. Like, apparently, like you have to actually like put it on for someone and have them watch it, I guess. But then later in this film, like right before the original girl dies, she like kind of goes nuts. Like she's just kind of like, I'm gonna die. It doesn't matter if I
No,
don't
it's
want
like
to
the
die
teacher
myself.
made a DVD copy of
Yeah.
the tape because, like we said, he's a huge fanatic and he wants to like preserve this even after he dies.
Yeah, so
And then so the
original girl stole it, and then she was
no,
like,
not Yuki, the other girl. Like
yeah, that's the original girl.
right. I'm not sure if when you mean original girl, you meant Yuki or not.
No, the one whose name I don't know. First off,
Okay.
it's Yuri.
Yuri. Okay, sorry. I don't know why I said Yuki, but
Because I said she reminds me of Yukiko. But yeah, it's... So, anyway, basically, the original girl who watched it, she's gonna die in like a few hours. And she just kind of goes nuts, and while Yuri is in the shower, she just goes, "We're gonna die, it doesn't matter." So, I took the DVD that I stole from the teacher, and I uploaded it onto the internet. I quickly realized the mistake and took it down, but it had already been downloaded by people, and now it's already spreading. Like, she shows her phone, and there's tons of like YouTube videos of like real cursed tape. Is this real? And all I could think then was, that has to count as sharing it. That has to count as showing it to other people.
yeah, but it's not the original tape. It's copied from the tape, so I don't know if that counts or not.
Again, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, someone has to explain why this doesn't work, because it'd be natural for the audience to then assume that would count. Like, we, the audience, now have to bend over backwards to try and figure out why it doesn't work. If our natural reaction is to think, okay, well, that worked, then someone has to come in here and explain why it doesn't work.
Also, I also think that's a dick move.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was
Like-
totally like, well, now fuck you. Yeah.
No, it's like, I understand not wanting to die alone, but having a bunch of random
Your
people...
friend is going to die with you
Yeah,
already.
and having a bunch of random people on the internet that you've never met before, and...
Also, if this shit goes viral, you just killed half the planet.
yeah, pretty much.
Although I do know, I haven't seen the latest American rings, plural, but I do know that has to do with the ring being uploaded onto the internet, and all I can think is this like fucking canon? Like, is this like actually like, did you take this from this? Like, did this then lead into that? Because that'd be weird. By the way, my weirdest realization watching this film is when it starts with the Universal Studios logo coming up in the front, and then we go, oh my god, does that mean that Sadako and Kayako are Universal monsters? Like, could we see them popping up with Wolfman and Dracula and the Mummy?
I think they just, like, kill everybody off.
Yeah, they would drain the life out of Tom Cruise. Much like Scientology did. Okay, so far, I've just been describing a Ring film and a Grudge film. Nothing really different about this. Even if you have not seen this film, you can pretty much picture in your head what this movie looks like at this point. Here's where the weird X factor comes in. Because after the temple priestess dies, this guy shows up, and he is this master, like, world famous, like, psychic, like, he's basically John Constantine. He's Japanese John Constantine is what he is. Mm-hmm. And he's got this little associate who is this little blind girl wearing all red with, like, a red, like, basically kind of the cap that I have on. And it was like, where did you come from? Because so far, this is a Ring film. So far, that's a Grudge film. This dude comes straight out of an anime. And he comes in, and when the priestess was dying, she mentioned, like, he's about to arrive. Use all the money that's underneath the altar to pay him. He'll take care of this. And then he shows up, and I'm not kidding you, he is an anime character. Because he comes up, and he walks over to the original girl who watched it, and she's still like that. And he just goes, and then she just drops over, and then, like, all his hair comes out of her mouth. And I was like, did you just, like, spirit punch her? What did you just do? Like, he did, like, some Naruto hand signs on her, and, like, suddenly, bam, just hair's coming out of her mouth, and she's out of her trance. It's the weirdest thing. Like, I was just stunned watching this, because I was like, are you, like, a character from another movie that I don't know about? Like, because I don't know all the Ring and Grudge films over in Japan. Like, I don't know if he popped up in one of them. Mm-hmm. I mostly am more familiar with the American versions of the Ring and Grudge. Like, I have not even seen all of the original Japanese versions. So did he pop up at the end of one of those and I just never saw it? Because I've seen most of them. Yeah, it's so odd that this dude just arrives out of nowhere, a walk-in anime character with his little anime sidekick in there. There's no explanation to their weird powers or anything. Like, I seriously was thinking he has to have like been in one of these films, and it just wasn't one that I saw. That's the only way I can imagine that they would just think to introduce this crazy ass character out of nowhere. And after he looks at like the situation, he then turns to his little blind sidekick and goes, "Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Let's have a curse fight another curse." Okay. Freddy vs. Jason has problems with the story. They didn't then just stop halfway through the film just to have someone show up at Camp Crystal Lake where a Jason movie has been happening and go, "I have an idea. If we take him to Elm Street and have him fight another monster." I was like, no one would have bought that. Everyone would have thought that was stupid. That's kind of what they do in this. And then they go over to the Grudge house. They start investigating it. They start talking to the schoolgirl who moved in next door to it. And they're like, "Oh, the Grudge house is calling to her. Kayako is calling to her and wants her to come into the house." I was like, all right, so this is a thing now. And then eventually they just pair up Yuri because the original girl ends up being killed off after she uploads it onto the internet. She's killed by Sadako. And she is then... God, this is so fucking weird. Basically, you've now got the survivor so far of the Ring film, the survivor so far of the Grudge film, and I will say this, whenever the Grudge girl has to actually go into the Grudge house, like, it actually is creepy. Like, there's a moment when she goes in there looking for the boys who disappeared, and, like, her parents come in, and her parents get killed off by the demons that are in the house. It's like, alright, that was actually pretty darn creepy. But I mean, yeah, that's really the only scares that I got out of this film. And that's one thing that I found interesting about this movie compared to Freddy vs. Jason, which is Freddy vs. Jason was not even trying to be scary. Anytime that Jason was going on rampage, you weren't supposed to be afraid. You were supposed to be going, "Holy shit, that looks cool." Whereas in this one, like, they're actually trying to be scary with the Grudge part, and they're trying to be scary with the Ring part, but the Ring never really freaked me out. I never really got scared by the Ring. The Grudge did a little bit more for me, but I never really got scared of it either. So the Ring stuff wasn't really effective on me, but the Grudge stuff actually kind of worked. But after they actually get them to pair up, they say, alright, we have to get them to actually fight each other. And if Kayako can kill Sadako, then that will actually erase all the damage that the tapes would do. It will basically be like an antibody that basically takes care of it. All the people who have been watching this on the internet, they'll all be safe. So it's like, okay, now not only do you have to save these two girls, you have to save the world, apparently. So the stakes are pretty damn high. So what they have to do is, surprisingly enough, there's a well behind the Grudge house.
Yeah, that's very convenient.
Yeah, so they have to go in there and they build up like a trap in the well. And they have to get the two survivor girls to go into the Grudge house right before Yuri would be killed by Sadako. And they have to have the Grudge girl watch the Ring tape. Then they have to have Yuri watch the tape again, which I don't know why she has to do that. That part made no sense to me. But basically, they wanted to make sure that both of them were cursed by both of the different curses. So that then they would have to fight each other to see which one could claim them. And as soon as they watch the tape, you've then got the little cat boy that's in the Grudge. Like, the little cat boy just in there. And it's like, oh, what's gonna happen now? And then just long hair comes out of the television, grabs him, and sucks him into the TV. I was like, oh, it's on. Oh, snap.
Like, maybe that's why they had to watch the video twice. Like, one to, like, get the cat boy. Yeah.
Maybe?
I don't know.
It seemed like they're both just cursed now. They didn't need to actually, whatever. But I was like, at that moment, I was like, oh, this is gonna be nuts, man. This is gonna, oh, Kayako's little cat boy just got taken out. Oh, she's gonna be pissed. She isn't gonna let Sadako get away with that. Oh, snap. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen here. Oh, I was like, I was the official hype man for this. I was that guy going in there starting shit with the two. I was like, did you see what she just did to your cat boy? Oh, are you gonna let her do that? You gonna let her get away with that? Oh. I was really hyped up at that moment. And then the ring girl comes out of the TV. It's like, oh, what's happening? And then you see Kayako starting to come down the stairs. Oh, shoot. And then what happens? The two girls run over to the door, and the two of them kind of come up there, and they're at each other. And then the ring girl just stands there as Kayako is just on the floor. And then her hair comes down and slowly starts wrapping around her. Like you see it like slowly go into her eye and her mouth. And Kayako doesn't fight back at all. Like she's just sitting there as hair's going around her and going in her like eye and into her mouth. And I was like, so are you gonna do anything? Like, okay, this is just the one. Like, this is the moment when you think that Kayako is down. Then she's gonna get back up, grab her by that hair, and start swinging her around. Oh, I can't wait to see what's gonna happen here. No, Kayako is just out of it.
Yeah. And
like that, just done. And
Sadako just like pulls her off screen.
Yeah,
like
just pulls her off screen. And as soon as he pulls her off screen, the psychic guy gets on the phone with him and goes, "The plan has failed. They haven't taken each other out. Quick, you now have to escape to the well. Plan B." I was like, it failed? So that was the big fight? That is what we showed up for? And they go over to the well, and at that point the psychic guy says, all right, for plan B, one of you must be sacrificed. At which point I was like, I'm sorry, did you think now was the best time to enter? How did you not tell them this was going to happen earlier? Like, what?
I guess he didn't want to scare them any more than they already were.
At this point, you should just go ahead and let them know, hey man, if this doesn't work out, one of you is gonna have to die. You might as well just, draw straws ahead of time, talk us over and decide it.
It's like either one of you dies or both of you die. Either way, shit's fucked.
Yeah, they basically said, because Sadako will show up if the person who she has cursed to kill tries to kill themselves first. Then she'll pop up and kill them before they can kill themselves. That's the way to like summon her early. So they're like, alright, we're going to have you stand at this well and try and kill yourself by jumping in. Then she'll run up, try to grab you, go into the well with you, and then we'll put the cover on it and she'll be sealed and she won't be able to come back out. And so Yuri goes up there, she stands at the edge of this thing, as then Sadako comes up on one side and then she looks over and Kayako is there. I guess she's fine now. And they run at each other, and then she jumps into the well. I was like, oh, this is when they're gonna clash. Okay, that was the fake out. That wasn't the actual fight. This is what's gonna happen. They then charge into each other and merge into just a big, really bad CGI blob.
Black squirrel.
It's just a big black blob on a completely black sky night backdrop.
Yeah, there's like this film.
We had to turn all the lights off because I could not see anything in that moment. I was like, I think I see some hair and eyes and like a big blotchy. I think it's just a thing. Like it looks like just a bunch of hair and like lumps. And I saw an eye in there, and I was like, okay, that's it. They just instantly, when they hit each other, they just form into a big. It's like, okay, and then they get sucked down the well after her, and then they put the cover on the well, and I was like,
which did nothing.
So was that it? And then it explodes.
Yeah.
Then the well just explodes. The top comes off. And the Grudge girl, the last survivor now at this point, she looks at it and she sees Sadako's arm come out. Wait a minute, is it Sadako or Sayako?
It says Sadako.
Okay, Sadako, thank you. Okay, jeez, because I just second guessed myself on that. I was like, please tell me we don't have to re-record this entire thing so that I can avoid that one guy in the comments telling me, you mispronounced it throughout the entire thing. Which in all fairness, if I hadn't been mispronouncing it this entire time, I couldn't really say anything. That one guy would be right. But yeah, you see Sadako's arm come out and starts pulling herself out of the well. But then when she comes out of the well, she's now like doing this weird like.
So she's walking like Kayako.
She's walking kind of like Kayako, except she can kind of stand up, which Kayako can't. But she's also making the sound.
Yeah,
like,
so it's kind of like a fusion.
They fuse together.
Yeah. Apparently they're a crystal gem.
As in a Dragon Ball, but whatever. We each have our fusion specialties.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, oh god, the junky, grimy gem, yes. But yeah, like, because when she started coming out of the well and it was Sadako, I was like, okay, that's two fake outs. Now it's gonna actually happen. I know. Sadako's gonna come out, and then Kayako is gonna reach her arm up, grab her, and like throw her around. Kayako's gonna come out. Oh, then it's gonna be on. Oh, it's been 2 fake outs. Now it's gonna go. And then when I realized they were merged, I was like, oh, well.
No, but like
now,
the little assistant.
the little cat guy.
No. Like while they were in the well, the little assistant said they're fusing. I don't know. You probably.
No, I heard that, but like we saw them fuse into like a big blob before that, and I was like, okay, well. That was her talking about that.
Yeah, so that's what I thought.
So when I saw Sadako coming out, I was like, oh, they defuse now.
No, I knew it was like, oh, so that big blob was not their final form, quote unquote, so...
Yeah, she comes out and she's doing the Kayako walk, and then she comes at the Grudge Girl, and the Grudge Girl screams, credits.
Yeah.
I got nothing. This is the biggest fucking letdown I've ever seen to a horror film. This sucked at the end. It's got some good stuff throughout.
Yeah.
It's a decent Ring film and a decent Grudge film side by side. And, the idea of merging them together is cool. But it's like, the moment that it is all leading to, the thing we came for, holy crap, that's a letdown. I mean, the freaking cover to this thing, it's got them like going at each other. I mean, we've got the like menu up behind us. The menu is both their hands reaching at each other like, oh, it is on like Donkey Kong. Oh, you can't wait to see these two go at. Oh, it's the thriller in someplace in Japan that rhymes with Illa. Oh my God, this is nothing. This is the biggest freaking letdown of like a monster film I've ever seen. It's non-existent, the conclusion to this film. And like I said, this is, it's a Japanese horror film. In Japanese horror films, a lot of it is just, hey man, nobody survives. Nobody gets out. So it's like, okay, I understand the idea of them like fusing together and this whole like, we can use them to take each other out and free both of you. I understand the idea of the two of them fusing together and they just kill everyone, being like, okay, well that is a very appropriate Japanese ending. But dear God, do not tell me this is going to be the two of them fighting each other. It's not even called Ring and Grudge. It's called Ring versus Grudge. Dear God, fucking fight each other. Oh my, do something. This is all the confrontation they have. All the confrontation they have is Sadako standing there, never doing anything other than staying here, while Kayako lays on the floor as hair wraps around her. Ring Girl pulls Grudge Girl off screen, then they run at each other. That is the closest we get to any confrontation. Holy crap, this is nuts. This is the No Country for Old Men of Japanese horror films. This is the tons of build-up, and then all the cool shit happens off-screen that you've been waiting for this entire time. Oh my God, this was a letdown. I really wish that I could do an actual review of this instead of just a post-geek out reaction, but my computer sucks and it will not read this this Blu-ray, so I can't actually screen cap anything from it. So if I did an actual review, it would just be me standing in front of my set, just saying the exact stuff I said to you guys. Cause God damn, I feel like more people need to know what a letdown this is. How did they think this was okay? Like, I get it. I get that Japanese horror is not like us. I get that it's not always about like the big monster tearing into stuff. But dude, you promoted this. Like, I was sold a bill of goods. I was sold fighting. When you have an actual versus in the title, I can't believe that I am walking away from like this week of films that we've watched going, yeah, Freddy Vs Jason, way up there, man. Way better. Yeah, man, this is insane to me that this is what they thought was okay. I know I'm just repeating myself, but I mean, it is stunning. We literally were just sitting there when those credits started rolling, just like, that can't be it. And it's raising questions because there is a post-credit stinger at this in which it just plays the ring tape, which the ring tape, it's just, it's Sadako just walking down a hallway, except that this time when the door opens, she starts walking down, you see her going,
So it's the fusion walking
It's the
down,
fusion.
yeah.
And I was like, okay, well now they exist as a fusion.
Yeah.
Which here's the really weird part of all this is that they have not made a Ring film or a Grudge film since then, which granted this just came out last year, but because there hasn't been one since then, it does make me go, so is this canon?
Yeah, like, is the next horror film just gonna be this creature? I don't know.
Well, I don't think there is going to be another one, which
I know,
makes
but
me
it's
go,
like...
this is the period mark, they fused. It's kind of like with Freddy and Jason, like, because Freddy vs. Jason was technically the last film to feature either of those two characters before they tried to reboot it, so like, this is actually canonically how their stories end. Freddy Krueger canonically was murdered by Jason Voorhees. Spoiler for that film. But yeah, like, with this one, it is making me go, so, is this literally what happens? Is this literally...
I kind of want to see, like, a movie with them, like, Sayako, basically, or...
yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, what, so what's gonna happen? Do they still kill people through videos, or do they still kill people when they go through the house?
That was my question. How does this work now? Because with Sadako, you watch the tape anywhere on the planet, and she will now come to you and find you. But Kayako is stuck in that house. So, what happens now? Like, this doesn't make freaking sense. I mean, it's not like when the Predator and the Alien fused in Alien vs. Predator. It's like, yeah, it's just one big killing machine walking around. There's rules to the two of them that don't work in this.
Like, what if in 2 days, whoever watches the video, like, gets possessed and, like, walks over to the house and they end up getting killed?
Well, I was thinking maybe not gets possessed, but, like, just wakes up in the house.
Oh, yes, that too, that works.
That's the only thing that I can think of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's... God damn. Man, it is just... I can't, like... This is a bad film, because like I said, I'm glad that we got, like, some equal screen time, because I really do feel like Jason kind of got short in Freddy vs. Jason. So I do like that there was equal screen time, but there's no connection between the two of them until, like, the last half hour. So it just feels weird. It doesn't feel like it fits.
There wasn't even, like, a connection with, like, the schoolgirls. Like, it's like I saw, like, when I saw the girl who moved in, it's like, oh, she's gonna make friends with Yuki and Yuri and the other girls, so they're gonna help each other out.
Well, they were college kids and she was a high school kid.
Oh, she was?
Yeah, so that wouldn't really work.
I'm sorry, they looked very similar in age, so I wasn't entirely sure.
Yeah, they didn't look that much. Well, I mean, if she's like a senior and
I
they're
don't
like
know,
freshmen.
but then again, Japanese schools are different from American schools, so...
Because there's only 3 years in their high school, so I guess that technically they would have to be closer in age, but I mean, yeah. But point is, it's one of those things where it's like, you didn't really do anything to try and merge these together, except for literally stopping the entire film to turn to the audience and go, let them fight. Alright, fine. So yeah, wow. This really makes me feel better about Freddy vs. Jason. I'm just going to keep repeating that because I can't believe how disappointing this was. It really feels like they didn't have a plan in here. Well, no, it feels like they did have a plan. They just didn't know how to make it work. And the whole ninja psychic coming in here, he's just odd. Like, he does not fit in here at all. But the biggest sin of this entire movie is that you've got an hour and 15 minutes leading up to this confrontation. You get to that last 15 minutes, and it is so just a bag of nothing. Nothing at all. God, do not watch this. I mean, do not watch it unless it's out of pure curiosity, and then, like I said, get that free thing from Shudder and just check it out then, and then immediately cancel your subscription. Oh, I wish I had a joke to go out on, but I got nothing. No, we already did that. God, it really stunned me just how little of anything there is in this film. But yeah, I've repeated that like 9 times, so I'm going to go ahead and just wrap this up. That's the thing, I don't want to wrap this up. I really don't.
You just want to keep on complaining.
No, it's not that I want to keep complaining, it's that I want to come to like some kind of conclusion. I want to come to like some kind of like well, here's the note we go out on. But this movie didn't give me a thing to go out on.
So we don't have anything to go out on either.
This movie fucked up our review. This movie gave me nothing to talk about at the end of it. God, this is so bad. And again, it's not even that bad until the last 15 minutes. But do you know how bad your last 15 minutes have to be to fuck up the first hour and 15 minutes? That's bad. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. This was the end of Icon Week. Next week is the viewer request week. I've been getting requests from you guys all month long, so I'll be watching the films that you guys requested I check out. So that's a big old question mark, because I have yet to look at those, so I have no idea if I'm going to regret this decision. But thank you guys for tuning in. You can always follow me on Twitter, Twitch, and Tumblr at Professor Thorgy. And make sure to check out our THORGIWEEN merch at tpublic.com/user/Professor Thorgy. Thank you guys for tuning in, and